Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Wednesday. It's Daryl here. It is 6 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. A very rainy day. I was just getting ready to go on a nice wet hike this morning. I wanted to talk to you guys first. And once again, I am in awe at how any American citizen could choose Donald Trump as a candidate. Again, I was watching the rallies over the last couple of days, and Donald Trump continues just to talk about how we are crushing this virus. It's going away. It's on its way out. The Democrats are using this COVID, and we're crushing it. It's disappearing. You know, we're going around the corner, and I mean, as most rational people know, it's so far. It's 180-degree opposite from what's really going on in the country right now. If you look at world meters or any of these other, if you're watching anything other than Fox News, you know what's really going on in this country. It's a national health crisis, and it's getting worse again right now. We got over 41,000 people hospitalized. I was reading up on the percentages of positive cases. Now, this has nothing to do how the Trump supporters Trump continually talks about. This drives me insane. How he talks about, well, if you test more, there's going to be more cases. So it's all about the testing. Like the analogy I made before. If we stop checking for drunk driving, there'd be no more drunk drivers on the road. But here's just another reason that makes no sense. When you look at the percentage per 100,000 people, the percentage of people of the population that have the coronavirus, like here in Connecticut, I believe we're up to 4 or 5% of 100,000 when you test 100,000 people. And so this has nothing to do with testing more or testing less. The argument that just because we're testing a lot more, there's more cases, this dispels that completely, because this is just telling you, through medical means, who exactly how many people out of 100,000 people, random 100,000 people in your population, what the percentage is that are testing positive. In states in North Dakota, some other states, I think it's up to 15 or 20%, which is alarming. And you look at Texas, Idaho, their hospitals are at the brink. They're at a crisis. Some of these states are building like army hospital setups outside to make room for the patients. And it just, every day it drives me, I'm getting more and more anxiety every day as I watch this. I watch a president just completely lie to the American people about a national health crisis where people aren't just getting sick, but our hospitals are reaching a breaking point where they're packed to capacity once again. Like I talked about in another video, when a lot of these hospitals are considering or have stopped what they call elective or non-necessary surgeries. And as I've told you guys before, this affected me personally. This is going to cause the suffering of tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of American citizens that won't be able to get necessary operations, just like me. When I had severe arthritis, like I said, I could hear the bones cracking in my hip every day, but I could not have the surgery for 3 months because of the hospitalizations from coronavirus. And that's what we're heading back for right now. As Christmas approaches, there's just going to be nationwide suffering, without a doubt. And we actually have a leader, a president. Well, calling him a leader is, I don't believe he's a leader. And most people, he's supposedly a leader. He's just outright lying to the American people, and not just lying about something small, but lying about a national health crisis that's going to affect thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of American citizens. I mean, this is criminal. Then I see Mitch McConnell talking about how I watched him talk in the Senate, and I'm biased, agreed, but even as I watched him talk, I don't think he even believed what he was saying. How he was saying that she's one of the, Amy Coney Barrett is the best pick that could have ever, the best person that could have ever been picked. She's the smartest, brightest person. And then he said, we're doing he talked very slowly, and he stopped for effect, and he said, "We're doing the right thing," and I don't think he even believed that. So the Senate goes into they go into recess to there's no COVID, there's no stimulus now. So again, as the country suffers, we see them push through this Supreme Court justice. Never in the history of our country has a Supreme Court justice been seated after July. And the hypocrisy, the blatant push to seat her and totally ignore America's suffering, a national health crisis. I can't even believe it's happening. Even as I'm watching this, Mitch McConnell, and he outright says that he didn't want to deal with the COVID-19 stimulus in favor of getting Amy Coney Barrett seated in the Supreme Court. So what he's saying there is that their reelection, securing Donald Trump, therefore securing their reelection, is more important than the national health crisis, than the economic or health of American citizens. I mean, without a doubt. If there's any Trump supporters out there, I would love to see your comments and argue how this. It amazes me when I see comments defending this. I mean, these Trump supporters are going to be affected along with the rest of us. Watching people argue against their own best interest is almost scary. It's like watching somebody cut off their arm. It's to say that this is the cult of Trump is an understatement. All right, one last thing I want to talk about. Even as Trump still continues and the Republicans still continue with this Hunter Biden stuff about supposedly how Joe made some money or something from the Ukraine or Burisma from being a former vice president. I'll put the links down below. It's come to light how much the Trump resorts are charging us, the American taxpayer, for people like Shinzo Abe, the Japanese prime minister. Forgive me if I'm saying that wrong. I wasn't even going to bring that up, but I'll put all the links down below. Charging the American taxpayer. So Donald Trump and the Japanese prime minister met at one of Trump's resorts. And you guys have to read the numbers for yourself. The ongoing, how the Trump resorts are charging the American taxpayer thousands of dollars per night for hundreds of rooms, for security, for a Secret Service, charging the American taxpayer $3 for every glass of water served to Donald Trump, for every glass of water served to the Japanese prime minister, to the Secret Service, to everybody. $3 a glass. The Trump business, the Trump resorts are charging us, the American taxpayer. Then where does that money go? Right into Trump's reelection campaign. We are all paying for Trump's TV commercials. I'll put the links down below. I started trying to memorize these numbers, and you guys will be shocked. The one that stuck out the most, if you Google $3 glasses of water or Trump $3 glass of water, watch what you find. This is the numbers are just staggering. They've been charging the American taxpayer for candelabras. Yeah, candelabras, floating votive candles. Bouquets of flowers. These are for Trump staffers. Thousands of dollars per night. Now, Eric Trump has gone on in interviews and saying that they charge far less, and besides that, these dignitaries, these staffers would have to pay their competitors anyway. And then Eric Trump goes on to say that we're only charging $50 a night, which is a complete and utterly ridiculous lie. It's closer to maybe $1,500, $1,600 per night that the Trump business, the Trump resorts, is charging anybody and everybody tied to the Trump administration, charging us, the American taxpayers. I'll put the links down below. I couldn't even start to memorize all the numbers. The one that sticks out is the $3 glasses of water that have been served over the last 4 years. Hundreds of thousands of glasses of water. We paid $3 each for Trump to be served his own water at his own resort, and we're paying for it. And they're complaining that they think Joe Biden might have put his name on some oil company, some energy company in Ukraine, or I don't even pay attention to that, but wait until you read this stuff. All right, check the links down below. You guys have a good Wednesday. I'll be back later with another video.